The Badgers offense no shows in Ann Arbor. Let's talk about the good, the bad, the indifferent. And hey, maybe we'll take a couple timeouts for media breaks because I've got a couple in my pocket I'm going to use. Oh, I didn't even hit the intro.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm rattled. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Locked On Badgers, your team every single day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for being your live reaction show, Michigan, Wisconsin. Michigan wins 24-10 in Ann Arbor. Today's episode brought to you by Mazda. Mazda sweats every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. Mazda, move and be moved. Guys, we always do the good, bad, the good, the medium, the ugly, whatever you want to call it. I do think there are things in this game that we can build upon. So let's start with the good, right? We're getting all the comments. I have a lot to talk about with timeouts, but we're going to get to that later. Let's start with the good. Justin, what is the good here?
Hunter Simmons. I thought he looked like a Big Ten starting quarterback today and was significantly better than what we saw from Danny in the last game. Pretty good job of processing and just taking what's there rather than being overly aggressive and trying to force things that aren't there. I think what you have with him is somebody who can manage the game and make plays, which is something that we've, from a stability standpoint, badly needed with this offense.
I have a couple things I want to say. First of all, yes, I know everyone in the chat. I know the Brewers are winning. I don't want to hear it. Okay. Fine. Second of all, before I say anything else, I want to say that one of the goods is that I got to watch the game with Herb Herman in the Discord. His name is Tommy.
Let's go.
Fantastic dude. Just moved to Vegas. We sat at a bar, watched the first 3 quarters. He is a great dude. Pumped about that. Got to enjoy some IPAs with him. Hell yeah, Tommy. The good was the opening drive. That was one of the best drives I've ever seen on this team since Luke Fickell joined. Welcome to the party, everybody. That's the kind of drive we needed. Like, we were Dylan Jones running the ball. The offensive line all of a sudden looked like they could block. Hunter Simmons, I said it last week. I've been telling you guys I wanted Hunter Simmons to start. Thank you for starting him. He is the far better quarterback than Danny O'Neal. I don't want to see any packages nonsense, but Hunter Simmons, like Justin said, and that opening drive was really good. The other thing I would say for good is I know that Justice Haynes still had 123 yards, I believe. 43 of it was on that one carry. I think this run defense is not a myth. I think the run defense really is there. Yes, there were issues. Yes, there were problems, but we definitely flustered one of the best Big Ten teams, a team that's still fighting for the playoff spot. We flustered them. We made our own mistakes, but there were a lot of good come from this. That first drive was just chef's kiss. Wish I could see that a lot more.
Yeah, I'm going good with the start. We talked all week, all season about you got to start a little quicker. You got to figure something out. They come out in the big house and they punch Michigan in the face, up 7-0. I thought Hunter Simmons, I was wrong on Hunter Simmons. Like this show, I'm always going to own the receipts. I thought Daniel O'Neal with the mobility should have started. I thought Hunter looked great for the most part. There are some throws you can tell that he doesn't have in his bag that he needs to be careful with. But listen, you're not going to complain when he goes 9 of 12 in the first half or 9 of 11, whatever it is. He was totally fine. So Hunter Simmons, and I want to give a shout out to Reiger. I thought Reiger at times was almost unblockable on the front 7. He single-handedly had a couple tackles for loss. He got pressure on Underwood. Listen, Underwood's a special athlete. That dude in a year or two is going to be a problem for teams. I thought Reiger played really, really, really well up front. So give me Hunter, give me Reiger, and give me overall the defense. Listen, there's going to be quibbles here. There's going to be things we're going to nitpick. Overall, the defense got hung out to dry again by this offense. And overall, they hung pretty damn tough in a game against a really good rushing offense. So shout out to the defense, Mason Reiger, Hunter Simmons. I think all of those guys deserve a little bit of kudos there. What about the mid?
Sure.
Go ahead, Steve. Yeah, I was going to say, what's something in the middle here for you?
So for me, the mid is the defense. I think overall, I think that there were times where the defense looked great. There were times where we just missed tackles. We couldn't just we couldn't get over the line on certain situations. I mean, Ricardo Hallman just, oh my gosh, early in the game, he missed a huge tackle. He got thrown to a couple times where he just got spun around. Like the defense did their job for the most part. They're a mid for me because we could have been better. Like Michigan wasn't that stellar. Michigan was beatable today. Michigan was beatable, and we didn't have what it took to actually get it done. There were several times where we just got, a couple misdirections. Underwood's, goes out of the pocket. Then all of a sudden we're just kind of lost. And we were this close on a couple interceptions. Our cornerbacks wouldn't turn around for some reason. We had Ricardo Holman absolutely should have picked off the first play of the game. Like there were times when I'm like, we were good defensively, but then we were bad defensively. So to me, the defense today was the definition of mid, where we weren't quite good enough. We weren't really that bad. They played a very mid game. The bad is going to be very clear. We're going to get to that. But I think the mid really was the defense today overall. And the offensive line, I also want to say, was a little bit of a mid. I think that Heinzen starting, credit to you, Ryan. You said that Heinzen would be better on the inside. You were right about that. And I think that Kadenka moving to right guard, I think overall the line didn't play bad. Like it wasn't great, but it was better than what we've seen in situations in the Maryland game for sure. So that's a mid for me. But the defense overall was my mid.
I'm going to say
you push in. Let me just really quickly ask. So Michigan scored 24 against Oklahoma on the road. I mean, I guess my point is I don't know what more you can expect from this defense outside of them being elite, right? Because the offense went 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out.
The defense gave us chances to win the game, but I think that we still could have. They could have been better. Like they played fine, but they could have been even better.
So my mid is going to be split because I'm going to say the front seven played above average, and the secondary stunk. There were too many plays where guys, quite frankly, seemed like they were trying to make plays that weren't even there and taking themselves out of position, which is just in the secondary, just make the play that's there. Like you have guys trying to attack like an interception where you're 2 steps late on it. And then because of that, the receiver picks up 10 more yards. And I'm looking at it like, just tackle the guy, like make the play on the receiver, stop trying to force things that aren't there and take yourselves out of opportunities and giving opportunities to the offense. You're already at a talent deficit in this game. You have to make the plays that are available to you. And the secondary consistently in this game, in this, like the end of the first half, second half, blew plays that honestly took good play away from the front seven, where they got pressure, got into good positions, and the secondary blew it for them because they didn't finish when the front seven kind of set them up to make plays.
Dude, tackle the ball, right? When you talk about that secondary,
absolutely.
Tackle the ball. Oh my gosh. This is, by the way, where you miss Preston Zachman and you miss Hunter Wohler. We talked before the season. You're going to miss Hunter Wohler. And Austin, we got to be real. Austin Brown got a lot of hype this offseason. The dude needs to make open field tackles, and he did not today.
Man, Preston Zachman would have been so nice to have in this game. Matt Young, sorry, but he's not playing that well. He got abused a couple times, and I know that Zachman has a pick in this game, by the way. Zachman has a pick in this game if he plays, because Underwood was leaving it out there. Underwood I'm telling you, man, like Michigan was beatable today, and that really pisses me off because like with a better defense, like we had chances with a better secondary, with Ricardo Holman playing at his best, which that doesn't exist anymore. And Preston Zachman being in this game, I'm telling you, like we could have had some big plays on the defense, and it just wasn't there. That's why, to me, totally definition of the mid. The defense was absolutely the mid.
I think that's fair. I think for me, my mid was actually, I think the offensive line. I think that people have to remember how good this Michigan front seven is. This is a really, really talented front seven. They've got an edge who's going to be a top 15 pick. They are really good. So you flipped a bunch of pieces around. I thought this unit looked better coming out of the bye week against a really good team. Now, it's still not good enough. That's where it's not like, this is not a great Wisconsin offensive line performance. I think there's things here you can build upon, though, going forward against defensive fronts that are not going to be this good.
Yeah. This is your starting offensive line. Yeah. This is your starting offensive line, and stop changing it. This is now your starting offensive line. That's it.
And that's your starting quarterback. Stop changing.
You better believe it. You better believe that.
I was about ready to bang my head through the wall when I saw Danny go out there. And I'm like, what are you doing? Simmons is playing well. Stop jerking him around on this and let him be out there and be the one, because he's actually posing a threat to this defense. And Danny's going in cold. Like, they know you're not going to throw.
That was frustrating. And this was scripted, right? They had scripted that Hunter's going to get the first, and then we're going to bring Danny in. But this is where coaches have to have some adaptability. Hunter looked great on that first series. You went down and scored a touchdown. This is not the time to make a quarterback change. It's just not. And coaches have to have the adaptability to move with the game script and not just stay with their script. And it felt like they forced Daniel O'Neal in. That felt like it killed some momentum. It killed some of the rhythm that Hunter had established. And by the way, that also means all week that you were splitting reps between these guys. How much better does Hunter Simmons look if he got reps all week? You have to figure out what the right pieces are and then rep those pieces, because you're not setting people up for success if you don't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about with coaching. We probably take a break and then we get into our bad, right?
Well, we're waiting for the bad, so there we go.
Let's take a break here and let's come back on today's Locked On Badgers. First, today's episode brought to you by our great friends over at Mazda. This episode is brought to you by Mazda, moving the game forward. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it is about redefining it, because there are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, they move culture, and they keep moving the game forward. Today's moving the game forward player of the day, it's going to be Reiger for me. You can go a couple spots. Hunter Simmons, I think, could make sense that first drive, but I think Reiger just shows up to play. You could tell he was there. He multiple plays in the backfield. Reiger is definitely a type of guy that you can count on every week to at least bring that energy, that heart, and that give a crap. He does that for this team. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there is more to every Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. Today's episode also brought to you by DoorDash. DoorDash is incredible, delivering food for you every single weekend. Let's talk about players that have delivered for the Badgers. Again, we're going to go bigger on this. Let's go back to John Tonje delivering game after game last year. That type of guy who was always there delivering, just like DoorDash delivers for you. And basketball is coming up. Who will be this year's version of John Tonje? We'll have to watch to find out. But Tonje was definitely a guy that consistently delivered. And right now, you can save money on Saturdays with DoorDash Streaks. You save every Saturday you order, stack it up, and you can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day. Only with DoorDash. Terms do apply. Period through 11/18. Okay, let's maybe get into the bad. Justin, we'll start with you on this one. What is your biggest bad take out of this?
Yeah, I mean, it was coaching hands down, but in general, for me, it was Grimes. Like, some of this, we had 3 and outs. Some of it was just, I'm mind blown by some of the stupidity that I saw. We talked about it, 3rd and 4, and you decide to run Wildcat. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you just took the threat of a pass off the field against a Michigan defense. I'm like, that's something you can get away with playing some of the weaker teams. And if it's 3rd and 1, I'm fine with that play call. You don't do it on 3rd and 4, where the defense is at best going to give up a yard or 2 when it's Michigan. This isn't a team that you're going to be able to pick up 4 yards on a misdirection like that, because there's not enough deception involved in it. I would have rather run an RPO or something like that with Hunter on it and been like, all right, you got an opportunity here to where they think there's potentially a run, and maybe you get the slant on it. Instead, we're doing stuff like that. The Danny plays, we're just like, you're taking the rhythm out of your offense and completely messing with it. And Rajiv had it, like, we were in our chat that we were talking about it during it, texting back and forth. Don't run every first down. Like, Simmons is playing well. Just give him some opportunities to play action and stuff like that. And it felt like you just didn't trust him. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, he's playing really well. Show some confidence in the kid. If he bites you on it, all right, then you adjust from that. But so far, everything he was doing well. And it felt like they just didn't want to take risks with him. And it's like, you're fighting for any little bit of success that you can have in this offense, and he's giving you some, and you're just kind of like pushing it away, like, no, this isn't good enough or whatever. I don't know what the thought process was on it, but get out of your own way. Like, don't steal defeat from the jaws of victory when you're running your offense. Like, if you have something that seems to be working for you, lean on it until they prove that you can't do it anymore. And Simmons was one of those things. And we saw it on that last drive where we got the field goal. When you put something in Hunter and let him actually throw a little bit, you soften the defense up and you got a nice run on there, a couple of nice runs. And it's like, for the love of God, this is why we're saying lean on Hunter a little bit. Give him some opportunity to soften the defense up so Michigan can't just pin their ears and run blitz and basically stop you here.
This is what, game 31 of the Luke Fickell era, I think, something like that. Like,
feels longer than that.
Every single game, we come on here and in all our shows all week, we talk about it being outcoached. Surprise, surprise. Once again, Fickell gets outcoached. Just stop it. I don't want to blame when you talk about the bad. I look at all the position groups. Maybe you can talk about the cornerbacks, potentially Ricardo Hallman, but it's all coaching all the time. Like, how many 2nd and 9s were we going to have in the second half? After the first drive, it's like, oh, let's run that read option. Okay. Dylan Jones, 1 yard, 2nd and 9. 2nd and 9. I'm sitting there with Tommy Herb Herman from the Discord, and he's like, how many 2nd and 9s have we had in a row? I think it was like literally 10. I mean, stop. Why are we doing that? And then all of a sudden, when you're down 10 points, oh, now we can throw the ball when Michigan's actually expecting us to throw the ball. How about you throw the ball when you're up, when you're down 3 and you can throw the ball on first down? Vinny Anthony, 9 for 97, just the best player on the field every single week. Give him the ball more. Every time he touches the ball, something good happens. But no, we've got to be down 10 points before we can do that. I don't think so. It's unbelievable to me that Jeff Grimes couldn't just, the first drive was so good. And you know what that means? Hey, we ran the ball. Oh, guess what they're going to do? Hey, clearly Wisconsin's going to run. We got to load the box. Michigan loaded the box, then throw the ball on first down, mix it up a little bit. But no, they just can't ever. They continuously get in their own way from a coaching perspective. And I'm going to let you talk about the timeouts at the end, because I know there's a lot of people about that. Yes, the timeouts should have been called, but I'll let Ryan take that. Just stop with the stupid play calling, Jeff Grimes. I appreciate Jeff Grimes' offense. I think Jeff Grimes runs a good offense, but the play calling, and I think you said it in the text, the sequencing isn't good. Like, why are we doing that? Give Hunter Simmons the ball. All he did today was prove to you that he should be the starting quarterback, which I've been saying. All he proved to you is that he can actually throw the ball. He can survey the field, do something. Coaching gets in our way every time. This was a beatable Michigan team, but our coaching staff continues to lay eggs when other coaches continue. Sharon Moore's not even a good coach, but he outcoached Luke Fickell because, surprise, surprise, doesn't take much to outcoach Luke Fickell.
Ryan, right before you jump in here, what I want to say is, there are times when I watch Grimes where it seems like he just gets bored with the play calling. And he's like, I want to call something a little creative here. And it's like, it feels like it's premeditated rather than there's an actual feel for what's happening on the field. And that's why it frustrates me, because it's so out of left field, some of the stuff that he chooses to do, where it's like, what are you doing here? Like, sometimes you just need to coach on feel, and he doesn't seem to do that. Or his feel for it. He's got really bad instincts when it comes to feel, if this is the case.
It feels like, guys, their coach scared. Like, if you could put a word on it, it feels like they coach really kind of scared. We don't know about our pass rush, so we don't want to put Hunter Simmons back there. Let's run the ball again. Let's keep it close. I was going to say a couple things I was going to say before I kind of take my main one here. And I think, Rajiv, you said that really well. Justin, I agree with your points as well. I feel bad for Yak, honestly. Like, you bring him in for one play and you run a wildcat snap on 3rd and 4, like, he's going to get blown up. Like, what's the point of having him on the roster if that's the spot you're going to put him in? That doesn't make sense to me. Dude, I am apocalyptic over those timeouts, not using them. I just got to be honest. I was coming into this game, and Rajiv, I was going to say, I thought there was a lot of things you could build off with the coaching here. They started fast, that first drive. They made the decisive decision to put Heinzen in the middle and Hunter Simmons. It felt like there was something there. I thought Tress's defense, for the most part, played pretty well, doing some of the stuff we didn't want him to do. He actually played a little softer than we wanted, but they were holding Michigan down for large parts of this game. And then Michigan is up 14 with 2+ minutes left. You have 3 timeouts, and they're clearly just going to run the ball out, and you don't take timeouts? Like, you don't take timeouts? That literally changed my entire tenure on this game. That's waving a white flag. That's inexcusable. That's giving up. And we have seen so many sporting events, all of us and everybody in the chat. This community knows ball. Like, I am ripping frustrated about this. This is about as frustrated as I've been on a live reaction show. Well, I almost just family-atized this show almost ever. You gave up. And I think all fans want to do is see you play 60 minutes. And if you want your players to play 60 minutes, you got to coach freaking 60 minutes. I am sorry. It's inexcusable to me to take those timeouts into the half. This team fought really freaking hard for the most part. And crazy things happen in sports, dude. Are we going to win that game? 99% no, but 1% maybe. 1% maybe you call those timeouts, you get the ball back, and you get something. Something breaks. We've seen this in sports. Something stupid happens in sports. It happens all the time. And then maybe you get an onside kick. Dude, you don't give up. You don't give up. And it is I'm so frustrated by it because I'm there for 60 minutes every game. These fans are, these players are. You don't give up. You don't take those timeouts into next week. He gave up. He waved the white flag. And it really frustrates me. It's a bad look. It's a bad look in optics. And I don't know how you can look at players and tell them we need you to play hard every single minute if you're going to give up in the last two. That's my rant. Am I being too hard on this? Probably. In 2 days, I'm going to look back and say I was a little too frustrated over that. Probably. But I am really frustrated by that. I thought they gave up and waved the white flag. And that's inexcusable.
Yeah, I think it's well said. I think what you said is very well said, for sure. And we don't need to do that. And honestly, I was sitting next to Tommy at the bar watching the first half, and he was upset that we didn't call timeouts in the first half to try to get the ball back to force a punt when they were down inside the 5-yard line to maybe get a punt return or something. So Fickell's timeouts, in-game coaching continues to be a negative. Now, am I bothered by the timeouts? Absolutely. He should have taken the timeouts. I'm not coming away from the game as much bothered by that because I'm like, we were losing anyway, but you're right. Like, it just sends the message. Like, he's talking about fighting till the end. He's talking about, throwing down the gauntlet and doing all these things. Like, you need to show it in your own actions. And the fact that we're sitting here talking about an offensive line that was played better than it has in a few weeks, a quarterback that played better, running backs that played better, a lot of players, a lot of position groups that played better. But the coaching is the one thing that we keep talking about. That's doing us as fans a disservice. It's doing the players a disservice. It's doing the program a disservice. Like, you've got to fix this. And it falls on one man and one man alone. And that's Luke Fickell. And I'm sorry, but that is what it's about. You need to take ownership of what you did wrong, and you have to be better. You've got to dictate to your staff to be better. And it's just, at some point, how many times are we going to talk about the coaching? How many times are we as fans going to be pissed off about this? It's just not right. You've got to be better.
Yeah, I think my perspective on this is right now you're actually to the point where, as a fan base, we are collectively begging you to prove that you give a crap and that there's some intensity and like some just want to out there. And I know that's, basically an expletive when you mention Gary Anderson attitude. But in all seriousness, like we've got to the point with Fickell where it's not even about wins and losses. We want to see the team actually look like it's showing anything in terms of growth. And when you see that type of attitude from a coach, it's kind of like, what are you bringing to this? Like, you're useless. Like, I just sit here and I know it seems harsh, but my attitude on it is like the team reflects their leadership. And for the most part, the players really played their butts off in this game, but the leadership stunk. And I'm tired of looking at it and being like, you coach like you don't give a crap. Like, you're just like, let's get on the bus and get out of here. I just want to go because you lost. And it's like, you need to establish a culture here and an attitude that these players have something to believe in you. And it feels like you don't even care.
You know what's wild though? Like, I actually thought for like the first 57 minutes of this game, this team played like they really cared, which is a credit to the coaches. This is where I'm really frustrated because this could have gone off the rails after the Maryland game. You could have gone into this Ann Arbor game, laid an egg,
and could have got blitzed and lost by 40.
Like, they did care. They did show up. And then at the end of the game, this is not the worst loss, right? You came into Ann Arbor and you fought. And at the end of the game, it feels like you threw that away. And that's what's frustrating to me.
They were more prepared this week than they have been in past weeks. Because we've always been on about preparation. They were more prepared. But the in-game coaching is where what we're all complaining about. The timeout usage, the play calling on offense. That's what we're complaining about. And can we have another, seriously, special teams? Are we going to have another punt block? I'm sorry. I don't care if it's a MAC team playing the number one team in the land. You don't need to get punts blocked, okay? I mean, when we see like Oregon playing Oklahoma State or whatever, winning 70-0, they don't have punts blocked. Stop allowing punts to get blocked. Stop allowing this to be a thing. That's coaching. So yeah, in-game coaching, bad. Prep, though, was better. No doubt about that.
It was. All right, we need to take a quick second. We're going to go back. We're going to do something a little different this week. We have a bunch of starred comments. Mike.
And then Ryan freezes.
Ryan froze.
That was a great picture. That sums up this game.
Oh my gosh. I mean, There you go. Craig, Rajiv is a professional complainer. We're from the negativity, Rajiv. It's hard to not be negative about, look, and I will say this, Justin, like,
hey, it was believe with Rajiv.
There are positives that we
back.
can, sorry, I think Ryan's back.
We need to take a break. Sorry. And then we're going to come back. I promise you, this is frustrating, man. Coming up next, I was going to say, we are doing something a little different today. We have a bunch of starred comments. So we're going to kind of divvy those up a little quicker to chunk through them. But Rajiv, Justin, and I will go through some of those because, again, we want to do more to bring those community voices in. Obviously, that's what this show and this community is always about. But first, a quick second for our friends of the show over at Peloton. And listen, if you feel like you may need to go get some energy out, maybe some stress out, if you want to go exercise a little bit of those frustrations, have I got an offer for you? Let's go check out Peloton. Let yourself lift, run, flex, push, and go those Badger emotions out of your body. And let's approach Saturday with a maybe healthier mindset over because of Peloton. Right now, I love how Peloton offers real-time strength coaching, swivel display panel, lets you choose from strength training to running immediately easy. This is a massively cool piece of kit. If you go over to Peloton right now, go check out the Training Tread Plus powered by Peloton IQ. Let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Class Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. Today's episode also brought to you by our great friends over at Gametime. Basketball is coming up. Wherever you want to get tickets, Gametime is your platform. The price you see is what you pay. Pictures of the seats before you sit down. Flash deals so you get great prices. You know exactly where you're going to sit, and then you get great prices right before the event happens. So you don't have to plan logistically months in advance. Gametime has you covered for any type of event you want to get. Take the stress out of buying college football tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms to apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. All right, let's get some comments in here. Let's finish up this show that way. Again, absolutely appreciate every single person coming on. For the Bucks fans that are in here, definitely hoping. Sorry, Rajiv, this is actually not a shot. Like, a lot of Bucks fans listen to this show, so I'm hoping you guys do great. I have a lot of friends who are Bucks fans. If they don't, I hope Rajiv does great.
You mean the Brewers?
Oh, did I say Bucks? Brewers. I meant Brewers. Yeah. Thank you so much. So
go
Cubbies.
Go Cubbies.
Go home, Cubbies. Yes.
I'm going to throw one thing in here quick before we get into these. No, this did not decide the game, but mother effing referees got to call pass interference. That dude has one job in that play, and he became like a fan in that moment. He was like watching it, and I swear you'd be like, ah.
And in the first half, we got called for a pass interference. That was basically the same thing. Was the cornerback didn't turn around, so you have to call pass interference on that. Now I know it was picked by another guy, but our guy couldn't even compete because it was pass interference. 100% should have been a pass interference call and could have put us in a better position, to be in the game.
Rico literally looking like the little brother playing with his big brother and his friends out there in the secondary today. Just got absolutely abused on that play. And it's like, you look like a redshirt freshman and you're a senior. Like, you look so lost in that coverage.
Yeah, he's regressed massively. Rajiv, Justin says, can't be too upset about this game, to be honest. Defense played well. Offense just didn't execute. Against a great defense. Team definitely has not given up.
Yeah, look, I think in the end, when we wrap a bow on this, and it's always hard at the moment because we're upset. I'm certainly upset about the coaching, but there are positives here. Like, we did hang absolutely. For the most part with a very good team in the first half. Like, we were down 10-7. Like, I think there's a lot of things that we can take away from this game, and we can certainly look to be building towards Iowa. Is this game, there was we didn't get to this last night on our Factor Fiction, but there was a good thing that Pilprin put in the Discord was, we're going to Factor Fiction. We're going to look significantly better in Michigan than we did against Maryland. That ended up being a fact. We did look significantly better at Michigan compared to at home against Maryland. There absolutely is something to build on that. We have a home game next week, Locked On Meetup. We're going to be there. I absolutely believe that we can beat Iowa. So I agree. Yeah. We can be upset at parts of this game for sure. And I think we all are fair and being right to be upset at the coaching stuff. But yeah, there's definitely positives to take.
My thought on this is if this is the effort you give against Iowa, you have a chance in that game. Iowa.
Well, let me get the next question to you, because we're going to try to chunk these questions quick, but the next one comes to you, and this actually ties into what you're saying. Dice One Gaming says 2-10 incoming. Justin, do you feel better about the rest of the schedule after this game?
Absolutely, because Michigan's probably one of the top 3 or 4 teams that we play this year, and I think you 4. They're probably at the 4th best. But defensively, that is the strongest, probably top 3 defense that you're going to play this season. If Simmons continues to get more comfortable and you put more on his plate, you have the opportunity to do some things. It's pretty clear Vinny can play with anybody. He absolutely was able to get open and do what he wanted to do against Michigan in this game. You need to lean into that, and you need to be able to find some more like positive things on the ground. But in order to do that, you need to put more on Hunter's plate and give him the opportunity to not let Iowa play downhill next week. You have to make them stay back and actually believe you're going to throw the football. Because if you had done more of that in this game against Michigan, you probably move the ball a little bit better, and your running game probably performs better because of that. And that's something you're going to have to grow going forward. Now, there's also a chance that we completely regress this next week if we get stupid in our play calling. But I do think that if this is the effort and this is most of this gameplay is what you see against Iowa, Iowa's not as good as what Michigan was today offensively. Like, you had a quarterback in Underwood who is miles better than Gronowski, and that's going to be a big factor. And you don't have a running back that is Justice Haynes on Iowa, which is going to give you an opportunity to play better defensively in that game.
Gronowski's also banged up.
Yep.
Tyler Strieber, I'll take this one. Hines in that center actually looks okay. That's not bad. I think he's a better interior offensive lineman. I think that's your starting center going forward. I got to be honest, guys. It's no disrespect to Jake Renfro. I legitimately feel bad for him as a human being. I wish he could be healthy. I know this is not easy on him. I think you need to solidify just who's going to be healthy and stop yo-yoing people around. Yep. So I'm completely good going forward. Davis Heinzen. Rajiv, next one here. Will Hanna. Any issues from effort on the team today?
Not really as much as I have in past weeks. I think that the offensive line, although not great, played with a lot of effort. The defensive line played with effort. I think there's some tackling. Ricardo Hallman, maybe you can look at some stuff with Hallman. I don't want to be too hard on them, but I haven't been impressed with Hallman at all. No, I really don't. I think that we have our leader on the defense and Zachman injured. We have our starting quarterback is injured. I think from an effort perspective, offensively, the running backs did their part. I think they played hard. Our receivers played well. I don't have an issue with effort today. I think our effort looked a lot better today than it has in past weeks.
Justin, let me kick this one to you. I know I said my piece on it, but I didn't really give you a chance to. And Daniel Bloom has the counter argument. People crying about Fickle not calling timeouts with 2:30 left in a game, trailing by 14 is ridiculous.
It's a culture and attitude thing. I can understand you thinking that it doesn't change the outcome, but this team is struggling to gain a foothold in terms of an attitude and just effort level. And when you give up on things like that, it's a problem with a team that is struggling for an identity right now. And that's where Ryan is getting upset about it. And that's where Rajiv and I are getting upset about it, is do the little things that lead to bigger success. Because long-term, you need to just establish that this is going to be the consistent expectation with this team. And that's where the problem lies right now. I get it. There probably doesn't change anything. We probably don't score. It maybe doesn't make anything other than the game stretching out for an extra 10 minutes. But the issue is that this team has struggled so much to find anything that's a positive with it, that you need to do the little things that are going to hopefully lead you to success.
One of the things Luke Fickell said when they came in, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yep.
So how you coach the last 2.5 minutes of the game, it matters, man. It all matters. Every rep matters. Everything you do in life, it matters. And it just frustrates me tremendously that we threw the last 2.5 minutes away. And by the way,
in that game, we're also in the game.
You're still, that's what I'm saying. And Michigan also tried to score. You talk about an interesting dichotomy there, where one team is it felt like they're like, just get us out of here. And Michigan's like, bro, there's still time on the clock. We're going to keep playing ball. That's what I want. I want that mentality. Michigan almost punched it in again because they're like, dude, we're still playing football. What are you doing wanting to leave? We're not done with you yet. Yeah. You tell me you go back to the locker room, those Michigan players, they want that. That's what I just.
Well, they wanted another touchdown for sure.
And I'm just frustrated by that one. I do want to. I'll finish on my last comment here. Matthew says, confuses why O'Neal got the majority of snaps during practice, then Simmons starts. I'll say this. We don't actually fully know. That could have been a little subterfuge, so I want to throw that out there.
I think it was. But they made it sound like in-game that Simmons had taken most of the snaps.
Yeah, I do want to say, though, this staff needs to find the right players and then rep those players. Mm-hmm. You have to really settle into what works, because we're 5 weeks into the season with the bye, and we're still shuffling pieces around. You got to kind of lock in at this point.
Hunter looks clear to me. If you're in terms of if it's not going to be Edwards, it has to be Simmons because he looks poised and he looks like he understands what you're trying to do. And that's where Danny just looks like if his first read isn't there, he looks like he's lost.
I mean, after watching 9 passes against Maryland, I was like all in on the fact that I wanted Simmons to start. And I think that like you have to do that. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be.
He looks like
Danny O'Neal, but Danny O'Neal
like
is, I'm sorry. Danny O'Neal's not it. Like Danny O'Neal's not it. Hunter Simmons is a quarterback. Like he's making those. Yeah, he made mistakes today, but he gives you the best chance to win if Billy Edwards isn't healthy. That to me is as clear as day. Stop repping all this stuff. Stop putting him out there and well, we can run the read option. Like just find a game plan. Spend the entire week. If Billy's not healthy, spend the entire week focusing on a game plan that fits Hunter Simmons and execute that damn game plan.
I think it's well said. Guys, last thoughts on this game. And then I want to talk about the Locked On meetup next week a little bit to wrap up the show. Last thoughts.
Yeah. So for me, I think that like there are positives that we can take from this. I think in the end, we step back, we lose by 14 points. We were in the game for most of the game. We went toe to toe, especially on the run defense side with Justice Haynes, who again had a decent game, but they were flustered. I wanted to put the fear into Michigan. And frankly, until the fourth quarter, we had that in them. They were that big house was nervous. Like they were like, oh crap, I thought we were going to dispose of this Wisconsin team. Like we put the fear into them. You have to build from this. The one thing you take away is whatever you did well, you rep that, you move forward and you take on one of our biggest rivals next week. You find a way to get it done. You have to grow from here. If you regress, it's going to tailspin. This is something, it's not a ton, but there is something to build on. For God's sakes, build on it.
So one of the things that I'm going to say on this is there were some missed opportunities in this game. And a big one of them was that double reverse. You had an offensive lineman that basically spun himself into the ground. That if he makes any sort of block on it, you probably have a touchdown. And that was one of those things. Like you look at Wisconsin shooting themselves in the foot. It's an execution thing where if you have a guy, you're one guy away from doing his job that makes something major happen. And there were multiple times in this game where you look at that, some of it was blitz pickup. You had Hunter get blown up on a play where he had the running back just got shoved back into him on one of the plays. You have that play on the double reverse where you have a guy who falls down and it allows the safety to stop a guy for a 5-yard gain that probably should have been 30. And you just have these little things that you've got to get better at. It's some of it's talent. A lot of it is just guys doing their job on a given play where they just have to get in front of somebody and get in the way to open things up. And it's the little things that this team has got to figure out a way to get better at.
Yeah, I would say on that double reverse, I think that was Heinzen out there against Moore. Like, he's never going to touch more in the open field.
He wasn't in good position. He wasn't in a good position to get the ball.
I hear you. Like,
I mean, he looked like he had been spinning around in circles too much and fell down.
I hear you. No, he did. He did spin around. Like that dude was never going to touch that guy in the open field. Unfortunately, that was just schematic. It's something that looks schematically correct, but then when you see the players involved, you're like, yeah, Moore is just going to make that play every time. But I think your overall point is correct. There's little things here and there that if Wisconsin executes better, like this, but. I think my takeaway from this is, and I think I'm kind of aligned with Rajiv here, there are little building blocks you can look at. This is a game beforehand. We all kind of thought potentially this could get really ugly. Like their defense could just bulldoze us. We could have multiple turnovers, short field for Michigan. They wear our defense down. Maybe it's like 45-3, 34-10. I thought 34-13-ish, something like that. Like this was a much closer game than a lot of people expected. On the road, off the bye, I think they did respond a little bit. I think there's building blocks here. You look at the offensive line, Simmons, the defense is pretty salty in the front seven. The other thing I would say is I think you can start to form real truths out of this. I think we're at the point where we can start to form real truths about this team and stop wondering. The secondary is not good this year. It's not going to get much better. We're almost halfway through the season. It is what it is. The rush defense is pretty good, right? So I think that is what it is. I think if going forward, one of those truths we can define is if Hunter Simmons can be a consistent game manager plus type guy, then okay, we could actually cook a little bit and get to 5 or 6 wins if he is that guy. I don't think that's crazy based on what we saw today. It was a 24-10 game against a pretty talented Michigan team in their house. So I think there's building blocks here. The end of that game tremendously soured me, though. And I have a hard time watching that and just I conceptually I have a hard time watching it and just understanding it. And that really soured me. But I think the rest of the game, I can see the building blocks through G, you're pointed to.
So I want to say one more thing on this because people think we're being overly optimistic. Listen, this is a team that very much is kind of on the precipice here, where you look at it over the stretch of these next 3-4 games, we will find out how much they care, because I'm seeing people throwing 2-10 out there. That's absolutely still in play, because this team could get beaten down over the next 3 or 4 weeks and break mentally. It would not shock me in the least. You have an exceptionally hard schedule, and every one of these games you are going to be the underdog. You have to have a game where you get something that makes you feel better about yourself, or I do worry that this team's going to fall apart.
And Nate, listen, that's a fair comment. Maybe we'll roundtable on this one to finish this off, because I don't want to keep people forever. I know there's people watching the Brewers as well. There's other things on Saturday. Nate says 5 or 6 wins, Ryan. Come on. Listen, that's fair. That's completely fair. I like a lot of what I saw today. And I know if we can play rush defense like this, we can beat Iowa. Like you can beat Illinois. I'm telling you that. You can beat some of these teams. You can beat Minnesota if you play rush defense like this. But those other things I talked about have to come along. Simmons has to be this and continue developing. Like this, those other things need to continue happening.
There absolutely has to be growth.
We can fluster a lot of teams, like we flustered Michigan for a portion of the game, but we've got to grow on the parts of the game that we can grow on.
Yes, this is a good place to end. Brian Axness, if nothing else happens, looking forward to the Locked On Badgers meetup next week. So we do have some logistics sorted out, but we will be in Madison next week for the Iowa game. Ultimately, would love to see everybody, because that's always been the goal of this community, is just make it better to be a Badgers fan. That's 100% the goal. So if you'd like to come out and hang in Madison, we're going to be what's the name of the place on Friday, Rajiv? Do you remember that off the top of your head?
Dondrins or something. It's in Cottage Grove.
We're going to go to, there's a distillery in Cottage Grove we're going to go to Friday, which is going to be amazing. Would love to see everybody there. We'll put these details out. Would love to hang, talk Badgers, eat food, drink beer, drink liquor, whatever, and vibe with the community. Saturday, we're going to be I think we'll go to some bar, which we'll put out, and then we're going to go to a couple tailgates, including one where we're going to be able to host some other Locked On Badgers people to come and hang out, throw the football around, again, eat wings, drink beer. It's a great time, and I really hope everyone is able to. Thank you. Nick says Downdrins, Cottage Grove. Would love to see absolutely everybody if you're able to come out. And if not, that's totally cool too. Continue hanging with us virtually.
And if you follow us on Twitter, Ryan and Bucky, Rajiv Badgers, Bucky Report, JJ, follow us, and then we'll put out there. I think, and I do that all the time when I go to Madison. I'll put out kind of where we are, what's going on. But yeah, follow us and come see us. It's always fun. Like I got to hang out with Herb Herman today, because he moved to Vegas. That was so much fun. It's always so much fun. And despite what's happening on the field, this community is great, and it's really good to be part of it. So yeah, if you're in Madison next week, hit us up. It would be great to hang out, have some beer. We like to drink, so let's do it together.
On Wisconsin, appreciate everybody so much. Thank you for tuning into this. Thank you for spending a little time with us. As always, be good to each other, be kind. On Wisconsin, and we will definitely talk later.